Hello, creatives. Welcome to the Moon series. I'll be using the archetype cards, My Spirit and Nature, Cautomancy cards, Lenormand deck, and the Star Seeds cards. I'm going to ask, what are we ready to release following a full moon, or what are we ready to receive following a new moon? If you're new to my channel, my name is Beth. I'll be using these decks that you can follow through with your Cards of Truth Cardology chart. That way, you'll be able to include your moon, ecliptic, and Rahu cards for a natural direction of where you can apply the messages. It will affect you the most in the house that your moon is transiting at this time. So check your astrology. You'll find links below as to where you can get your own free personal cardology chart. Okay, so this is a Virgo full moon in Pisces. Let's think about what that combination means as we practice releasing what and how we are undermining ourselves. We'll find help utilizing the positive aspects of these signs, like philosophical communication about health and well-being. There's also the earth and water, nice mix. It's a grounded, fluid kind of thing. Then there's the ruling planets, Mercury and Jupiter, and Neptune, if you like. But that's going to bring a lively, upbeat conversation. And we've got the 6th and 12th house. So that's well-being, organizational skills, routine tasks, compassion, acceptance, spirituality, and the unconscious mind. What might undermine is all these in reverse. Poor communication, muddled thinking, finding it hard to get out of our own way, triggering frustration and quick tempers. Okay, however, if we can go into this with a sense of humor and determination, and do it with kindness and curiosity, we can release anything that is getting in the way of our health and well-being, spiritually as well as physically. Your body is a temple sort of thing, and how to take better care of it mentally and physically. Okay, so I've got 2 quotes for this full moon. First is the Dalai Lama. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. And then the Buddha. If you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. Okay, so let's get started. What is Aries moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of ease, joyful, organized, intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. All right, Aries moon, you're Mars-led. So for this, it's going to be a matter of patience and willingness. Okay, let's see what you get for the archetype card. Healer, wow, this is good. It's got great interesting attributes. So for the light attributes, it is passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. The shadow attributes, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. Boy, that's hard to read. Okay. Yeah. This is such a beautiful way to start these readings because healing, that is what we are all here to do. Hopefully, heal ourselves, and therefore, as we just stated, get that aura up. And so, just by merely showing up, your presence has a vibrational energy about it that just wants to do good. So, what would get in the way? It is interesting in that it could be many things. You could have all kinds of things standing in your way, even yourself. So I'm just going to go and turn over the Spirit and Nature card and see what we get there as a little direction as to how this attributes light and shadow, one working against you. It's like, why would you want to take advantage of those who need help? It's just not in your self improving wants to do that, but you might be feeling invited in other ways to participate in that. Um, let's find out. Let's do this card. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Diamonds. This is an interesting little note here because this is all about figuring out what you need to release. How perfect is that? What's undermining and no longer serving? The shadow attributes of this is really the feeling like a victim. It is being either stuck in that victim mode or a perpetrator or a defender. Now, this is all around the circumstances of control issues. There could be some low self-esteem going on here. You could be being duped and having a deception around the people that are your peeps, who you have for support mechanisms. Not everybody has the best of intentions. So if you're finding yourself drawn into exhibiting those qualities, well, of course, we want to let that go. However, if you are feeling like you haven't fully stepped into your own, say you're still in that feeling somewhat of a victim and you don't even really know it, and it's triggering to be a victim, you end up being passive aggressive. You find ways to undermine yourself by undermining others. And it's about being, with the Seven of Diamonds, it is really to embrace the entrepreneur spirit, having that positive attitude. It's the 1 in a million card. It's very, very, very taking risk with a calculated measure. You don't do anything until you've really thought it as through as you can. It's hardworking. It is this charismatic quality about it as well because it's the diamond suit. So it's telling me that you have everything that you need, yet you may not know it. So in order to release what's not working for you, or I'm going to, it's coming through as the victim thing is part of this. Not sure what else yet. I haven't fully received the messages, but they'll come. And understanding that to let go of anything that's not serving you. Maybe so it is something about not seeing what that is. Something in your surrounding or in your way of thinking isn't serving you any longer. So you need to either shift the stinking thinking about your situation. got to shift into that higher vibe of understanding that it's time, number one, because this is what we're doing. You're here, you're listening. You don't want to be a victim. Nobody does. But how do you get yourself out from under that thumb? Ugh. I know. I've been there. I'm a seven, a seven of clubs. And it isn't until you can fully appreciate why you put yourself there, what you're gaining from it. You know, for myself, it was being a people pleaser. And for that, you want to look to the Rahu. Why would you want to be a people pleaser? Well, you're a healer. It's all about making people happier, healthier, cleaner. That's what you want for people. So, of course, you're going to be a giver, but you can be a giver to a fault. And that is what we're talking about here, to consider yourself as much as you are considering everyone else. It's so apropos to understand that there's no other way you can take care of anyone until you take care of yourself. It's so obvious. You know, we've heard it a million times. I've said it a million times. You've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. But if you take a moment to do exactly that, you know, the light attributes of the healer here, it is talking about repairing. So it's not like it's broken. It's like you've been putting so much energy, almost depleting yourself in order to give others what they need. That, of course, it is going to take a toll on you. But the second that you can understand that letting go of something is such a kind and generous gift to yourself, it instantly raises your vibration. It brings that into balance. It is you having a more one in a million chance of figuring out how to just tweak it that tiny little bit. So patience and willingness to look at what is keeping you being too much of a giver. And you are going to find your spirit, your butterfly of the next chance to fortify who you are at your core. Once you step into a more rounded and grounded, it is the diamond suit. When you do that, the diamond suit is also about skills and talents. It's highly intuitive. All of that is going to come flowing in. Now, the sevens are about letting go. It is Saturn in the cards of truth. So look to your Saturn and see if your card there has anything that can add to what is happening for you, because it's a great place to look to let go. And we're talking Pisces here. It's the month of Pisces. So we're going to look at the Neptune as well, see what could be elusive. You can look at your Pluto and see what where your things are coming in from left field that kind of trip you up. And of course, the ecliptic, because this is your life path. What is it that you are here to accomplish in this lifetime? And Rahu, that is what we are talking about, because those are the hard lessons learned. They are self lessons. So if you can put those together along with your moon card, and you can look at the whole chart to sort of pull that thread through it and see where you might let go of whatever is the underlying impetus for giving more than to others, more than you are to yourself, because that is really, you need that gift for you. And then you're going to just move on through to the other side and peel that back and have a brand new you. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand. All right, so we've got the crossroads. So yes, you're not quite aware of what that is for you. You've got a decision making, you've got a little thinking that you need to do around how you're giving too much of yourself and how you might be able to fortify you so that you can just build this energy. There's a lot to be said for protecting yourself. Some advice that I heard once that really stuck with me was to create a bubble. Think of blowing a bubble, and you're in that bubble, and that bubble is actually a very thick membrane of protection. Your light's protected, nothing else can get in, your energy can get out, but it can also channel, because the only energy that's going to come through is what you invite there. And that is all about inviting in Source to bring what you need to heal. Now, you can use this bubble for meditation. You can use it for when you are healing others, to stay in the energy field that is protective and just infusing you with the right light. And it'll all come. That's that patience part. All right, let's see what you get for Starseed. Wisdom. See your adversaries as opportunities to expand your spiritual light. You can expand within that bubble, and you can radiate that beautifulness out. And any adversaries that are keeping or holding you back, find a way to let your light shine regardless, because if you are within a group of people in the same line, there's a lot of competition that can happen here. Everybody wanting to, be the best at whatever. And as an Aries, there is that fixed energy that is really needing to have that feedback. So keep that in mind as you figure it out. All right, well, best of luck to you. It's really okay, Taurus Moon, you're Venus led. So for you, this is a matter of accepting change as it is needed. Not an easy thing to do for a fixed sign. All right, let's see what we get. This is the archetype cards, and you got the Rebel. Light attributes: challenging authority to effect social change. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Beautiful. The shadow attributes: rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Yeah, well, not one to follow the crowds. You're probably a true leader. One of those people that understands themselves, can take the time to really already know. I know many Tauruses, and none of them are people who have a hard time figuring out themselves. They all seem to know themselves really well, which is great. So that tells me, and it's coming through, that you're to release something that is of how you are releasing the spiritual challenges that are if affecting social change for you, around you, and what you are doing. So if you're in between spiritual acknowledging, it may be time, it's just coming through as that you're a little tired, you're a little in between knowing, maybe it's gotten shaken up so that you've been a little out of touch. That's the word that's coming through. A little out of touch with your spirituality. And in that case, it's just not really serving your inner needs at the moment. So you're ready to figure out what the next spiritual thing you want to do. It's also coming through that perhaps you've found yourself really replenished by spirituality. Maybe you're one of those that jumps in and takes it on, and you completely transform into a different human being than you were before you went into the spiritual study that you are being drawn to. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with taking that persona and trying it on for a while. However, this card is coming through as you coming to the end of one of those cycles. And that's okay, because that's what you're releasing. The knowing yourself is coming back through, and you're understanding how that can get you into these giving too much or going too deep. And what happens is that it actually takes away from your spirituality. It's funny how that works, but you lose yourself in it. And then when you start to recognize that you've gone too deep, you've given yourself too much, it's almost like that spiritual addiction. I've heard that term. So in the in-between, you are at a perfect spot to ease yourself out of that, right? This is the accepting that change needs to happen. All right, let's turn over the spirit and nature and see what we get. The King of Clubs. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Known as the astrologer card. So can get pretty darn deep into this knowledge, wanting that growth, tearing things down to build things up. There's a bit of sacrifice here. All the kings are. So for you, this growth through crisis might feel like a crisis, that you've jumped head first, feet first, cannonballed into whatever spirituality is now, the bloom or is off the rose. You're seeing, the darker side of things. You're understanding that everything has a darker side. Of course, you know this, you know it. Felt great for a while, but now you're finding yourself in the circumstances of needing to let go. Now, there's a reevaluation that needs to happen, obviously, and that's going to be coming through as you surrender, as a king does, the limiting beliefs, the whatever has held you in illusions is a very good way to put it, because there's a certain, and so glad that this is for you, Taurus, because there's a certain grounded acceptance that has to happen in order for that to happen. So for you, I think it would be quite a bit easier for you to do it than some other signs. There's going to be an inspiration that happens when you start to find the humor in having just kind of taken on a different role for a while through this spiritual seeking and the depth that you've gone to. It's all good. It's going to be great information for you to take that giant step forward. Unbelievable, because that's what the kings do. And just because, they do take into their realm of things the 7, 8s, and 9s, really a worldly, universal thinker. So all of that is there for you. The club suit is all about the leaves of the tree. It is just taking all of the nutrients, that knowledge from source, channeling it down into who you are and how you need to be tweaking who you are. That's what life is. So it's perfect. First, 7, 8s, and 9s, the 7s, you figure out what needs to go. It's not working for you anymore. This is knowledge seeking, how you get your knowledge, what you do with it, how you share it. It's all about that. It is the love of knowledge and what you do with it. It's always about how you share it. So this is about deconstructing, destruction, 7 of clubs, Saturn, letting it go, seeing it, understanding that it is directly related to the 7, 8s, and 8 of clubs. You self-validating your way of thinking. You just ground yourself and take a giant step forward when you entertain that 8 of clubs notion. Then notions. Talk about notions. We've got the 9 of clubs here as well. It's all encompassed in this 10, in this king, leading you to that 10 on your ecliptic path. So check out your path, see what's there. And then, if you've got the king of clubs in your chart, all the better. Go and look there as well. And understand that that 9 of clubs is actually having something within your DNA that is ready to be released. Just like this burst of energy that hasn't really been serving you. Psh, gone. Allowing for this cleaner, more streamlined notion and ideals, right? Beginning the begin again, because that's what we do. So it's decisive clarity. Love that about the King of Clubs. Decisive clarity for you. Beautiful. You'll see where that change needs to happen. Oh, you got the lucky clover. Perfect. Clubs, clover, right? It is the key card for the club suit, the 3-leaf clover. So that is beautiful that you should get it, because it's going to be just that kind of beautiful awakening. You're going to know exactly where to decipher this and come out the other side a much more you. I love it. That's beautiful. Beautiful to be letting that go. Do it with kindness and curiosity. You'll have so much there for you. All right, let's see what the starseed card is. Dreams. The universe speaks to you through your dreams. Well, if you're a good dreamer, that is perfect. Just write it down when you wake up. Try not to wake up too quickly and take a moment to sort through what dreams you've had. And if not, daydreams come through oftentimes subconsciously with what your dream world, your subconscious, is really trying to bring to the forefront, especially if you take a moment to ask for that. Your guides, your daimon, they will help you get to this and know exactly what parts you want to keep, what parts are ready to transform, and be all the better for it. All right, gonna stop it right there and wish you the best of luck. Okay, Gemini Moon. What is Gemini Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of easy, joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura that brings that light to the world? All right, let's see what you get for the archetype card. Liberator. Light attributes. Freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs. Releasing negative thought patterns. That's an interesting one. And the shadow attributes. Imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. Okay, so this is about how lightly you free yourself from the things that you need to let go of, right? Liberating yourself from whatever old, outdated, outmoded beliefs that you have, and releasing that negativity through patterns. Negative thought patterns. Well, that's a lot of self-talk, isn't it? That is you in your head debating what needs to go, what needs to stay, and how you talk to yourself. That's a big one. All right. Well, that's good though, because if you can release the patterns that you find yourself in order to do that, because we all have them. So if you can switch that up, you are going to gain so much. It is, about doing this in the highest vibe possible. It's asking a lot because this is about consistency. So it's really staying present with your thoughts. Oof, that's a big one. Tall order. Let's see what we get with the spirit and nature. The 9 of Spades. Oh, this is so interesting, because this is all about your mental well-being. It's perfect perfect card for the liberator, because what do the nines do? They let shit go. They recognize the baggage that they've been dragging with them forever because it's in the DNA. But guess what? This card tells you that it is ready. It's here to be released in a timely, well-measured amount of whatever that feels like for you. So the nines are about K2. That's that DNA. It's clearing. It's being karmically connected. It is overcoming the ego, which is that self-talk. So whatever patterns that you have picked up from your ancestral baggage that you've brought with you, it's kind of like thinking about the like a homing pigeon, or how the whales get from one place to another. No GPS, they've just got this natural radar. And part of that is just knowing how to do you, because it is there, it is DNA. So it's ready to be released. It's ready to just be really taking a deep look at. And it's also the Nine of Spades is related to the Hermit card in the major arcana. So you really are being asked to ease into this with the knowledge and the knowing that you are being divinely guided. So it's something that you're going to need to sit with. Not so much so that you just throw yourself overboard in allowing, it's like this overwhelm that can happen, or a certain feeling blocked with it if you're not ready. So there's got to be this aura of you willing to just kind of sit and be open, not try to push it one way or another, because that's just going to frustrate you all the more. So what you're being asked to do here is kind of see yourself as a yogi, if you will. It's called the yogi card because it is sitting in that emptiness as much as you can between thoughts. And it's really asking a question and then waiting to hear the answer. You know how there's a moment where you're not thinking anything? So try to sit in that. That's where you're going to find the easiest path of clearing this, because this is you healing yourself. It is being led with clear-sightedness, only because you are seeing the strengths, you're seeing the weaknesses that are ready to be transformed and released at this time. It's karmically ready. You're here to do this. Liberate yourself of these, any kind of negative thought patterns. Wow. All right, let's see what we get for, oh, I love it, Lenormand card, the scythe. We're just gonna cut that out. Chop it right off. We're done. This is beautiful. You are making up your mind to just change, release, be done with negative thought patterns. not all of them, but around a certain something that has held you grounded and unable to move forward with where you want to take yourself. You want that lightness of being. Just ride that wave for a couple of weeks, and when it comes time for the new moon, we'll be manifesting a whole new something to really energize your presence and what you bring, how you can liberate yourself into a new version of you. It's really kind of beautiful. It's very beautiful because you're freeing yourself, and then you're able to help others free themselves as well. Once you learn how to do that through that, allowing that inner wisdom to come through for yourself, that can only come from spirit. But that's exactly where you are at this moment, in that in between. So talk to your spirit guides and ask them to open the baggage and let you see, so that you can understand why you have these negative thought patterns, where they're coming from. That will give you the direction of how to release them. Do check your ecliptic path. You are in this life to accomplish that. And you are also in this life to follow your Rahu. And whatever card that you have there can help you figure out what is the best path, what feels right, where you need to be, where do you lose track of time. That is a great indicator of where you blossom. All right, one last thing. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Light. It is time to reveal your radiant light to the world. Lovely. Oh, that is so good. Yes, absolutely beautiful. Be sure to be writing this thing down, because there are going to be some real juicy bits to add to whoever you are on the other side of this. Beautiful. All right, right here. Best of luck. Okay, Cancer Moon, let's ask, what is Cancer Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of ease and joyful, organized intuitiveness for the health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world? So, Cancer Moon, you are moon-led. So, for you, this is a matter of sharing experience. Let's see what you get for the archetype card. Scribe. Light attributes. Preserving knowledge and information. Shadow. Altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. Wow. So, if it's a matter of sharing an experience, we all like to build those stories, don't we? Sometimes they can take a life on of their own and just kind of get out of hand. Telling that story, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, more sensational. Oh, it's so much fun. Bringing in bits and pieces of maybe adding just a little bit too much. So if this is the case, and what you're really here to do is to preserve the knowledge and information. That is what a scribe does. It doesn't alter it, doesn't add to it, doesn't take away from it. It just presents exactly what is meant. It's almost like when you transcribe something, it's difficult to do in a different language. You know, if you're not familiar with the language, you can read something and interpret it completely different than what it was meant to indicate, or it could have been a metaphor that was taken literally. So it's a very difficult thing to do. Very factual kind of writing. You know, I know doctors need to do that. I know police officers need to do that. It is just the facts and nothing more. Because if you get into giving more, you're then taking on a story that's yours and morphing from whatever nugget the beginnings came from. Depending on where you are within that, it's a very interesting card, isn't it? To be getting here with what you need to release. So, you know, if you are a storyteller, if you're a writer, or you're writing movie scripts, or you are in the world of telling stories in order to, you know, like a teacher would, or creating works of writing that start with something, but you are meant to take them somewhere, then the scribe would bring through what your true feelings are about that. It's okay to take a nugget and make it something that's your own, right? But not to take that nugget and realize that it reminds you of someone else's story, and then you start to tell their story. It's not yours. Sometimes we can do that for protection. We don't want people to know us too much, because if they do, then that's kind of giving your power away. It could be something of that as well. All of those are coming through, so maybe it's a little something for everybody here with this one. But for a Cancer moon, and you having this moon come around as a matter of really how you're sharing the experience of life, right? All right, let's just see what the spirit nature is. Okay, so it's the Ace of Hearts. This is about you. It's the Ace. It's the Sun card. It's about how you really find that oh, I'm waiting for it to come through, so it's coming through a little murky here. Okay, so it's about security, self-security. It's about emotionally understanding yourself. That's a tough one for Cancer moon. It's a very loaded place to be. It is understanding that this is going to come through being able to see for yourself a new understanding of love, self-love. It's peaceful change, so this is good. It's going to come through like an aura of warm sensation. They're asking me to let you know that that's the kind of allowing energy to kind of flow around you, that's what to seek, to be ready for. And when that happens, you're going to know that this is where you need to tweak how you are basically sharing your truths. because to let people in is a scary place to let people in. You know? Yeah, it's like you are opening yourself up for all kinds of energy that might not be the best for you. So you're going to have to do this very carefully, very thoughtfully. But you're going to want to begin very gently in small bits. You know, it's interesting because when I did this card, I put a heart on the basket here, loaded with everything that you might need. The card can represent a vacation, but sometimes you need a vacation from self. There's a book here, there's water, there's all kinds of nutrition in the basket. But the heart is a bunch of puzzle pieces. And they're puzzle pieces because we're to collect those pieces of ourselves and make ourselves whole. So, to do that, while you are doing what you need to do to nurture and nature yourself as much as you are others, and to present yourself in a way that is honest and as open as you can be. And unapologetically, that's coming through. Like, you don't need to hide. You can be you because you are who you are meant to be. And if you have any question around that, you can look to your chart for direction. It's there. Look to your ecliptic. That's going to set you on your path of what you are meant to do in this lifetime. You take that card and you understand that card, and then you look for it in the upper seven, and you see where your blueprint of the time that you were born puts that ecliptic. And when you see where that is, that's where you know that you are to include that in the equation of your ecliptic card. And then you're to look to the Rahu and see where your Rahu is inviting you to take a look. It's the Rahu, the 8th spot, that card, as well as up in the upper seven. See where your Rahu is, what card it is with, and anything else. That will also show you your easiest path. And the quickest way to really start to feel your way through is to what feels easy. Where do you get lost? Where do you lose track of time? That kind of thing. That is where your heart is. That is where you'll find your most ease to move forward. And as far as letting people in, that is coming through as a confidence. When you collect your pieces, every piece that you collect, you think about it, it's solid, it's got strength behind it, it is you. So you take that, you put it in your pocket, you put it in the basket of who you are, unapologetically. Great. A mountain. Okay, so mountains are obstacles. No matter which way you look at it, it's work. So collecting those pieces of puzzles is not easy for you for whatever reason. Oh, okay, so it's in the easy part. It's in the Rahu part, the ease that you feel. You know what that is. They're saying you know what that is. But you have obstacles in your way of doing that. You have You have people around you with expectations of you staying the way you are. Okay, so easing into a new transformation of you is not going to be the easiest thing, but it's going to be the necessary thing. It is what you have to do in order to complete what you are here to do. Now, I've experienced such, and you're really going to have to bide your time, really sit on those pieces of your puzzle, fashion them, and don't overshare. Don't talk about it. Just show up as it. Unapologetically. That just keeps coming through for you. And you will find your way around, over, through these mountains. Oh, wow, you've got a big one this time. But it's a good one because you are writing your story, your truth, you. It's beautiful. Starseed, observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. I mean, everybody grows. Everybody moves forward. None of us stay stuck. We're fluid movement. And Cancer moon is a cardinal place to have your moon. You do see the bigger picture. You will find your way just by observing. It's really coming through that you should just keep this to yourself. Whatever you've got planned, wherever you need to grow, keep it to yourself and just do those baby pieces. Think of it. Okay. All right. Here you go. Another message. It's like a 1,000-piece puzzle. One piece at a time. Tiny baby steps get you through. And you, before you even know it, before anybody has any chance to say anything about it, it just is. Beautiful. All right. Best of luck. Okay, Leo Moon. What is Leo Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills, that ease and joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world? Okay, Leo Moon, you are sun-led. So this is a matter of open honesty. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Child magical, light attributes, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. The shadow attributes are pessimism, depression, disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. All right. So, it's just feeling really tight, really like not a lot of room to maneuver, like you've been locked into a box or in a dark room, like, those, I don't know what they call them, like when game houses where you have to find yourself out of rooms by I don't know what. I've never done one because I'm too claustrophobic, but that's what it feels like, that tight, dark. I would be, it's not a good feeling that's coming through. So there's something here, whether this is you keeping yourself from expanding, moving into something lighter, less tied, or you are feeling that way from a situation that you are finding yourself in and feeling like you have been put in a box. However, it also feels like there's change coming. I'm going to turn over this Spirit and Nature card and see what's here, because this lightness wants to, it's just like the wings on are just beating this, like necessary to break free of it. All right, let's see if we can get some answers here. All right, so you've got the 5 of Clubs. This is a beautiful card to get. Now, the 5 of Clubs is all about finding the honesty in something. So if you've locked yourself into a way of thinking, that would be a very Leo thing to do. Leo needs to have that conversation between ego and soul. It is the Strength card in the major arcana, so it is knowing your strengths and weaknesses and being able to be that, knowing, so that you are in control of your actions. Sun-led moon. You know, the moon is the reflection of the sun. Very interesting. And this being the full moon, a release of what needs to come to light. You are going to get a real looky-see into who you are at your core, where you've been hiding away, locked away, these attributes that want to come through for you. So the 5 of Clubs I see as, I've coined it like a therapist card, because it wants to get to the answers. It wants to get to the nitty-gritty of things. It needs to know the qualities that you need in order to blossom into who you need to be. So it's also a card that is very good at gleaming the nuggets. Now, this is knowing what to keep and what to save away for future experiences. It's collecting that intellectual knowledge so that you can share it with other people. So this is about opening to a possibility that it is not so black and white. It's more about allowing a color of, lack of a better word, magical miracles, like a child. Perhaps you weren't allowed to really seek that as a child. Maybe you grew up in a very constraining family, or you're doing that for yourself. However, this is a change card, so change is coming. And it's going to take some real open honesty about yourself. So, Leo, to glean those nuggets, to get to the core of what is in the box, what's ready to be released. You've got the key. Okay, so it's coming through as you've got the key, and the key is handy. You're going to find it. Something is going to open, and the ball is going to start to roll, and you are going to find yourself seeking, wanting. The Five of Clubs is so closely related to the Rahu card in that the five sort through what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And when it feels good, when you lose track of time, when you find that it's easy, that's your Rahu. That's where you are being invited to put more energy into that kind of thing. If it's hard and difficult to get there from here, then that is just Rahu saying that that's not where you need to be. It's to be an invitation to an easier way of being, a lighter way of being. Okay, let's see what you get for the Lenormand. Okay, so we've got the cloud card. So it's either cloudy thinking or it's clear thinking. So again, with feeling this, the fives are Jupiter energy. So it's going to come through like an expansion, like blowing up a balloon until it pops. Meanwhile, every breath you take and blow into the balloon is a new experience, whether that is something that feels good or doesn't feel good. Is it murky, hard to think, or is it clear and coming through crystal like a bell? When it's coming clear through clearly, that is where you want to pay attention. That is where you are being invited to explore. The Five of Clubs loves to have these social conversations. It's opening up a conversation with this magical way of thinking within yourself. This is all about you. Not really having outward conversations, but these are inward conversations. There's something that's going to really push that over the edge for you. It's just going to be undeniable. Something of a miracle is going to be coming through and jolting your world of possibilities. Like if you have been feeling stuck and single-minded in your way of thinking, it just feels like you're gonna see a ghost or an alien or something really bizarre that is really gonna jostle you into all of a sudden like a burst. Understanding that there's a whole other side of life out there, and you are now giant step into it. Wow. You got to let me know whatever it is that hits that switch, because I can't believe what kind of energy that the cards are coming through as for you. Very cool. All right. Starseed. Patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. Something tells me it's going to be coming through pretty darn fast and furious. It's going to be like opening a dam, and it's just going to be happening for you like that. Okay, I hope you're ready for this. This is really pretty cool. Nice. All right. Okay. Best of luck. Okay, Virgo Moon. What is Virgo Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of easy, joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world? Okay, Virgo Moon, this is your moon and you're Mercury led. So for you, this is a matter of simplifying life and the details. So let's see where you are being invited to begin the begin of releasing. This is the archetype cards of Midas and Miser. So the light attributes is entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. The shadow attribute is hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. So it's about value, isn't it? And how freely you are wanting and needing to share. How much of it, how much of you goes into that sharing? So, if it is a fear of not having enough or emotionally not being able to share whatever that is, what you value most about yourself, your emotional well-being, how you show your love, how you feel protected and comfortable and easy with those around you. Whether, just popped in the meme where I hate people, but I love dogs. For me, it's bunny rabbits. I want one so badly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just so sweet and lovely and not demanding of anything in any way, just lovely, furry little fur babies that are so sweet and joyful and just bring such love to what you do in life. And so many people are out there are so trying and so hard to open and feel comfortable around when they're needy or asking too much of you or expectations are laid on you and they're just energy vampires and you're in the middle of it and you do value who you are. So you might be a bit miserly in how you share that, weighing and deciding who, or what, who to give to and how much and what. All right. So let's see what you're being asked to release around that way of thinking so that you could open and be able to move into that kind of sharing with a more lightness of being that isn't so thick and heavy with feeling like you're being taxed with it. All right, spirit and nature. We've got the Eight of Spades. This is very interesting because this is asking you to take a moment to feel how connected you are to your spirit guides and your spirituality. So it's an Eight of Spades. This is the Rahu card. It's about remedies and cures. It's about self-validation of taking care of yourself. Couldn't have gotten a better card for what this is. Your moon in Pisces definitely is about that conversation, spirituality, philosophy, how you are connected to all things and everyone. It is coming through as being able to cash in on all of these opportunities of knowing yourself better, of valuing yourself so much at such a much deeper level that you're like completely guiding. They're guiding you to do exactly that. You've got one hand here connected to Earth and thoughts of the greater picture, the spiritual, the universal thing, and trusting that you are being led with really kid gloves to become this grounded, self-assured stability that, okay, lets things roll right off their back. No need to even put a value on what other people bring to the table. This is about you. And no matter what interferes with your daily grind, this is about you being able to see your own value, find your value, understand it, and give it in a very down-to-earth way. Organized. Okay, Virgo moon, it's very interesting that you get this because it is all about, as I said, that self-validation, that Rahu. It comes around, gets activated at age 42. So the lightest of the attributes of this is just being actively knowing your worth, your it's just such a beautiful opportunity for self-validating who you are at your core. So what could trip you up in this is the feeling like you don't have what you need. So they're letting me know that it's going to come through for you, that if you have felt disconnected to source, that connection is going to be met again. It is about getting back your faith in being guided in the right direction. So, yeah, it's very nice. It's also the eight of spades, the black suits, related to the Chariot card. So this is really having everything you need, like your mind, your heart, your spirit, all of it connected, all of it speeding toward some victory, some success, some energy that overcomes any obstacle in your way. So it's coming, baby. Very nice. So to let go of the understanding or feeling like you've had that disconnect, that needs to be released so that you can open to a new connection. All right, let's see if the Lenormand cards bring it for us. So it's the Sun card. It might as well be the Chariot again. This is just good luck and new beginnings and something beautiful coming your way. It is really all about having the energy of the sun to just bask in that glory of opening to a new way of connecting with your spirituality, your guides, source. It's going to come through in a really warm, nurturing, fuzzy way of feeling it. That's beautiful. And with that comes this grounded value of self that is just beautiful too. Because you'll have that ability that comes with it to know exactly what value to put on you moving forward in this entrepreneurial, creative way. Delightful. All right, let's see what you get for the starseed. Inner alchemy. Is that not inner alchemy? It is perfect. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. That is amazing. It's going to be so freaking easy to do this. Absolutely effortless. Lucky you. This is beautiful. I'm so glad that this is your reading. It's beautiful. All right, Virgo Moon, simplify, okay? Simplify life and the details. It sounds like you're going to be letting some shit go and opening to exactly this. Wow. All right, there you are. Thank you and best of luck. Okay, Libra Moon. We're going to ask, what is Libra Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of ease and joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. So, Libra Moon, you're Venus led. So, for you, this is a matter of watching for synchronicities for decision making. Interesting, isn't it? All right. Archetype card. Advocate. Light attributes inspires you to put compassion into action. The shadow attributes embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Well, okay, so we are looking at how to really wrap your brain around how you get yourself to that compassionate action and what you do with it. Because if you are inspired to put that compassion into action, how and where do you do that? Because otherwise, if you're not acting on it, if you're not inspired, you can get into that negativity trap and really kind of stew in it, which feels like you're either stuck in feeling like you don't have enough to share, that you haven't had a break for you in a really long time, and that you've been overworked, underpaid, meaning in joy or otherwise, not money. This is being rewarded for taking care of yourself. So it's more about the compassion for self and how you are taking care of you. Are you punishing yourself for something that no longer is even a part of where you need to be or who you need to be and where you need to be putting that energy? Interesting. that just came through, just like that. So, all right, let's turn the spirit and nature over. 7 of clubs. Okay, so time to let something go. This is Saturn energy, so this is a bigger piece of the puzzle. So, 7s are all about breaking through on into the other side. This is breaking out of those 7 inner planets and stepping into a more spiritual way of living. Which means if you're looking at this Virgo Pisces connection here, Pisces is very close to that other side. It is all about spirituality and embracing the effortlessness of existing here. It's almost like it's like an amusement park full of different rides, and you get to choose, and everything is meaningful and no baggage, just a lightness of taking things in stride. That's Pisces. So for a 7 of clubs, that's pretty darn heavy for that to come through in that way. We're talking tower energy here in the major arcana, but it is a spiritual gateway card. So whenever that fallout happens, it's lemonade out of lemons. Its attitude is everything. It is moving from victim to warrior. It can come through as sudden clarity. So it can also be breaking through your own depressions, your own script of how you talk to yourself. There's a certain breaking through victimization, perpetrators, protectors, all of those modes that you can find within your inner family comes through having been traumatized and overwhelmed, being pushed into fear and mental illnesses, physical illnesses, stuff that big stuff, because it's Saturn, this is tough going. However, it's in the challenge of picking that up and going with it to look at it in that Pisces way of seeing it and understanding that, oh, okay, this is just the next ride that I'm on. It's not going to last forever. It's going to be fleeting and interesting, and I'm going to find the reasoning around it and make sense of it and find the compassion for myself. That's what this is about. Making a commitment to yourself to drag yourself, if you have to, kicking and screaming, up to the counter and start squishing those lemons and making lemonade. It's as easy as the butterfly. The reason why I put the butterflies on the 7 is because it is a constant cocooning the caterpillar and emerging butterfly over and over and over. And you got to find the beauty in it. You got to find the humor. You've got to find how beautiful that is. It's essential as a gateway card to break through each of those and find your wings to move on. And to do that, you need that compassion for self, self-care, self-love, self-worth, love. You got to take care of yourself like you take care of everyone else. All right. Ooh. Let's see what you get for this. The anchor. It's beautiful to have here because this can be so unsettling and it can be so hard to ground yourself, even though it's Saturn and there's a lot of gravity to it. Having a Libra moon is tough sometimes with the decision making. And I think that's why for you, this is about finding those synchronicities to allow spirit to help guide you. Butterflies, look for butterflies, look for clover, look for threes. And you'll know you're getting close. It'll feel like a breath of fresh air when it comes through. It'll come through easier. Rahu, check your Rahu and see where you need to be putting that kind of energy, because the Rahu card is inviting you to understand and see that you are to find the ease and the passages of what feels right. It's going to feel like you're anchored, or it's going to feel like you're pulling up anchor to move on. Whichever one fits, the synchronicities will let you know whether you're to pull anchor and go, or whether you're to drop anchor and stay in it a little longer. But look to your synchronicities to really cement that for you. And you'll be able to really pinpoint what it is that needs to be said goodbye to, so that you can open yourself to that self-compassion that this card is asking you to do. Very spiritual, very gateway into a closer understanding of you moving through these caterpillar cocooning butterflies. All right, let's see what you get for the Starseed card. Ascension, of course. Your soul is evolving to a higher states of consciousness. You are ready for this. Looks like you're pulling up anchor. I love it. And then you're going to drop it, then you're going to pull it, and then you're going to drop it through life like the rest of us. Compassion. Please find that for yourself. I love it. This is absolutely perfection. All right. Thanks and best of luck. Okay, Scorpio Moon. What is Scorpio Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of ease and joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light to the world? So Scorpio Moon, you are Mars-led, so for you, this is a matter of staying focused on yourself, not others. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype cards. You got Child Orphan. Light attributes, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. The shadow attributes are feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So this is really about acquiring a certain comfortableness with where you landed in this lifetime with the people around you and how either needy you are or not, whether you can really step into allowing your emotional self the stability really to know that you've got what you need. That is interesting. And not feel like you're abandoned. Because, of course, that's going to stifle your maturation. You got to mature into something that takes care of yourself. And that's really what it's about, isn't it? And for a Scorpio moon, you can be undermined with all of the Scorpio parts of like wanting to emotionally manipulate people to get what you want or feel secure. And you don't even really realize you're doing it. It could be like your protectors, your family within, protecting you by arranging life so that you are supported in the way that you want to feel supported. But of course, that is also going to undermine your growth for yourself when you seek it from someone else. You first need to feel it for yourself. So if you can get it, if you can do it for you, you don't need it from someone else, but you can invite someone else to share in that with you. It's one of those catch-22s that can be very difficult to see because you really want love. You want to give love. You want to have love given to you. So we often find different ways of maneuvering to acquire exactly that. So let's see what the spirit in nature has for this. The 5 of Spades. So 5 energy is this quick turnover of figuring something out, fleeting, and often, trying this and trying that and struggling with finding what fits. The spades are remedies and cures for what you need for mental and physical well-being. So this is a perfect card for sorting through exactly your tendencies to realize your love language. Okay, that's kind of fun, really, because you're going to just kind of peel it away and get down to the bare bones of what you want and how you go about getting it. So it's in the how you go about getting it that we're looking to clear some of the unnecessary things out of the way. And you do that by figuring out how to acquire these things for yourself. And you do that by understanding what traps you've set to keep you where you're at. Because you got to give to get in this. But in this, you're not. You are allowing freely what needs to come and what needs to go. Getting down to the bare bones of the undergarment is what's coming through, like the corset of structure, once you've got the pillars in place, it tends to happen naturally. So let's find out what it is that you are to build upon with this minimalist attitude toward feeling out your self-independence, for being able to take care of yourself. Because otherwise, if you're feeling abandoned or stifled, those are two really completely different things. Abandonment, if you're feeling abandoned, that's like having invested in something and then having it fall apart like a house of cards. And that having that stifle your growth as a loving, caring human being. It is like having put all of your value in a basket that when you go to take it off the table, there's a false bottom and you've nothing left. What they want me to say now is just that you've got a basket that you are to put those bits in. What's left? Because this is the 5. The 5s are about collecting the nuggets of worth, of value, about you being a spade. This is about your well-being. This, if you think of the tree, is the bark. It is your armor. It is what protects you. You protecting you. And how to do that, how to nurture and nature yourself. Okay. You will find the answer. I mean, that's what the 5s do. And then when you do find that structure that only you can give yourself, that's the prize right there. So this is about clearing away the stuff that's not really supporting you. It's the stuff that you're trying desperately to pave the structure, putting in that cement foundation of what you think is going to get it for you. If I give enough, if I care enough, if I try this, I'll get this kind of love, and that will be what I truly, really need. No. What we're talking about here, what they want me to bring through for you, is this understanding that it's as the 5 is, Jupiter kind of energy, where there's a certain kind of joy that's waiting for you. And you know what that joy is because everyone has felt it. It is the joy of self-commitment and doing the right thing for yourself. The right thing for self is the right thing for other people as well. Those that are around you who want to support you, supporting yourself. It is really putting on the big boy pants and the big girl pants. It's really the ultimate taking care of you, throwing everything that you're trying to get what you want, but it's from other people, is giving all of your power away. That stuff's got to go in the trash. You got to loosen up. You've got to let go. You've got to allow Source to guide you and just take with you the bare minimal of the first steps of relearning if it hasn't happened in a while, or if you're actually pretty good at taking care of yourself and you're learning how to conquer the fear of surviving on your own. This is just going to be another tool in your toolbox to do exactly this. Because the black fives are also about judgment, and the judgment card is about change that is timely and joyful because it's Jupiter energy as well. And it is an expression of joy to do this for yourself. It is a significant journey stage. So whatever piece of the puzzle that is coming to you for the toolbox, it's going to be essential and long-lasting. Yeah, that's really quite lovely. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand card. So this is about the book. So it says here, the unopened book weaves stories concealed. When pages are read, the truth is revealed. The book guards tales of inner emotions. Blessed are the words of deep devotion. It's so beautiful, isn't it? So, I'm supposed to tell you that you are writing your own book about you. It is your book of self. So you might want to be writing these lessons down that come to you, all the ones that you can remember, all of the ones that have really been you, because that is where you are being invited to seek out more. That's your Rahu. That's going to feel good. It's going to feel real. It's going to feel light. It's going to feel natural. And when you start to begin the begin of it, you're just going to feel that Jupiter joy and that underlying support that is uniquely you maturing into a new you. So to let go of anything that is conditional and not you doing it for you, and just allow people to do for you what they want to do because that's their journey, you will be creating your own. So nice. All right, let's see what we get for the star seed. Oh, channel. Love this. You are a channel through which healing energies reaches the world. Write that book of self. So nice to know that, isn't it? You're just going to channel what it is that you need for you. Your guides are right there for you. That is absolutely amazing. Okay. Thank you, and best of luck. Okay, Sagittarius Moon. What is Sagittarius Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of easy, joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world? So Sagittarius, you are Jupiter led. So this is a matter of taking a moment, a minute for consideration before taking action. Interesting, isn't it? So let's see what you get for the archetype. Artist. The light attributes expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. The shadow attributes are using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. So, this is about being honest about what you want to bring as a message symbolically to the world, how you're going to get people to think and feel. This is a kind of a tall order. It's a big order for any artist to be able to be that honest with self. It takes a deep honesty, an owning of that honesty, to put it on paper, on canvas, or sculpt it into something that is your truth, your message that you want to bring to the world. And it is a dimension of life. It is just beyond the five senses because it's not obvious. It is definitely something that is heart-led, has to be a tremendous amount of self-knowledge, commitment to that. It's a card that is so incredibly Rahu-led. It goes beyond the natural earthly plane. You're on your life path, which is your ecliptic card. So that has something to do with it. It is your destiny. It is where you are meant to go and explore. Everything that crosses that path, your path of destiny, every test, everything is fate. That fate is there as a mirror to show yourself to yourself so that you can see it and acknowledge it, accept it, yes, and channel it into creating, however that is, whatever that looks like. Even if you are not an artist, you are a creative. You are creative about the way you're doing you. Whatever message, you are living it. You are a symbol, a symbolic symbol of yourself, bringing it. Wow. All right, let's see what you get for the spirit and nature. Destiny and fate. All right, so, okay, let's find out what's crossing your path, Sagittarius moon. And taking a moment of consideration before you just jump right in. Okay, such a fiery moon. And let's not forget that the moon is a reflection of yourself, the sun, shining it right back on you. This is what we need to think about. The 9 of Hearts. Perfect card. Okay, so karmic DNA, letting go. Hearts, emotionally led. That has been kind of a false knowing up until now, kind of a given, kind of like you've just kind of taken it for granted that emotionally you are this because it's a long history of family DNA whether it's a mental illness or a belief about your physical self or whatever. It's not true. You're waking up to that. That's what this card is about. It's also the wish card. So be careful. Take that moment about thinking and be very clear, very precise in what you're asking for. But go ahead and make that wish, because it's a wish that is going to be granted. The other fun thing about this is that there's a lightness of being with it. It is a charity card as well. So the lightness of being is just knowing that at this time you are being protected, you are being guided, you are being just this intuitive, knowing, understanding that you are safe, secure, and where you're being led, you're going to be very happy. So the Nine of Hearts is also the Fool energy in the major arcana. So this is you trusting that when you step forward, your guides are going to put you on the right track. So you're going to need to check in with how that feels, whether it feels easy or whether it feels forced and something that you are desiring but might not actually be the right thing. This is also what they call a semi-fixed card. It is energized by the Seven of Diamonds. So if your chart holds a Seven of Diamonds, look to that card in that spot, see what else is there for guidance as to where you might be best put for this wishing. It is about fate. So it is something that is going to show you something about yourself that needs to be let go of. It is false information that you are going, or just about, going to realize. It might take the entire 2 weeks to get there, but trust that this is something that needs to be recognized, heard, and then understood, that you are stepping into, you're freeing yourself up to live a more authentic you and bring that authenticity into your symbolic you. Just getting out of bed, putting your feet on the floor, the way you dress, the way you hold yourself, your stature, your you-ness is being tweaked here to bring you that, as we said, that aura, the higher vibrational aura that is going to shine your light to give that energy that you just bring naturally to people so that they can also live a more authentic life. Wow. Okay. So it is also successful manifesting. Do you love this? It is emotionally clearing some old, stuffy, good-for-nothing information that you thought was real. It's gone. You're changing it. That's what you're here to do. It's beautiful, isn't it? This is what you've needed to do. This is what you signed up for when you came here to do. And you're doing it. Not only for yourself, but for future generations. You're changing the story for the better. Beautiful. All right. It is also that random acts of kindness. So be very good about seeing where you can give unconditionally. It can be a compliment. It doesn't have to cost you anything. It can be holding a door open. Anything like that. Giving up your parking space to someone else. Whatever. That's what's going to bring this to its fullest. So be sure to be doing such. All right. Lenormand. Ooh, the Tower. Yes, this is the you and your stature. This is how you hold yourself. You are about to present in a much more grounded, full, strong way. Beautiful. All right, let's see what you get for the starseed. Earth Guide. Your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and be loved. Those simple acts of kindness, unconditional, do them for the do-gooding of it. It feels fabulous. It is going to put you in a very light-hearted, the full energy, and allowing you to feel that protection, feel that guidance, and understand at your deepest core that you are moving into a new you, more beautiful, more glowing, more there. Isn't it interesting that they're both redheads? I just saw that. I love it. Okay, Sagittarius moon, it's perfect. Thank you and best of luck. Okay, Capricorn moon. Let's ask, what is Capricorn moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of easy, joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light to the world. Capricorn moon, you are Saturn led. So for you, this is a matter of intuiting when to ask for help. All right, here we go. The Alchemist for the archetype cards. The light attributes, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Okay. Shadow attributes, misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. Ooh, all right, I'm listening. That's mine. Capricorn moon. So how am I doing out there? You got to let me know that if you are into the occult sciences and doing your thing to transform who you are at your base, all of your motives, all of your goals into golden wisdom. How are you doing? This is very, very interesting to me that we should get this card because it is perfectly connected to where my Rahu is, because on my Rahu being a 7 of clubs is the Jack of Diamonds. It's like the salesman card. So it is how much of this is real, deeply real, how much of it is wanting to sell yourself as this, and where are you finding the balance, the truth, the knowing, the depth of where it is all coming from. These are all things that you have to really sort through in order to know if it's real or if it's coming from something that you want it to be. So you've got to take you out of the equation when you're doing what we're doing here, I'm doing here. This has to be completely channeled through source. If I tend to tell a story, you got to make sure the audience, the person listening, knows it's a story, that that's not what's being channeled. It's advice. It is like being a therapist or something. But even therapists channel a lot from source, and guides. Guides talk to each other. They allow the therapist to get an insight into their clients. That doesn't happen with card reading. This happens with just flipping over the card and letting source, my guides, my daimon, put the words in my mouth to express what's going on. So as far as getting the alchemist, it can be about that, but it can also just simply be about your motives, your goals, no matter who you are or what you're bringing. You can be the cashier at the grocery store. You can be the person on the sales calls. Anybody. What are your motives and your goals? And how do you move those into something that is worthy of sharing? All right. And staying out of that needing it for feeling powerful. Because this is very, if you're like me and you're a card reader, or you want to put words into something, a message into something, if you let the ego get massaged by being able to channel, that's the misuse of that power. But if you can see this as a service to others, that covers everything and everybody, no matter whether you're channeling for messages or whether you're just allowing your motivations to guide you to something that is worthy and wisdom laced. All right, let's look at this. The Two of Spades. So it's not an easy thing to get to. It's an opportunity, an opportunity to explore. You've got the remedy, you've got the curiosity, you've got the want, the need to make those connections happen, but it has to happen organically and naturally. You can't force it. It is such a making room for it. So this part about intuiting when to ask for help, it's not so much from your neighbor, your partner, your friend. It's about when to ask for help from source. Sometimes you just have to throw your soul, yourself on the table and say, okay, it's not happening for me. It feels forced. It doesn't feel clean. It feels like I'm trying too hard. I'm on a time. I got to get it done. It doesn't feel right. Those are all faulty paths. It will happen. The fun thing about being able to intuit messages is that there always seems to be enough time, enough energy. It's like I've heard it expressed as witch's time, like a witch. You can literally stretch, bend time. It bends for you when you're doing the right thing. I have experienced that. So I know that it's supposed to happen that way, because what that tells you is that there's this wave of energy that carries you. It's not like you're trying too hard. It's like your guides are lifting you into that current, and you receive what you need to receive. Time isn't an illusion. It is human made. If we didn't have any clocks, it would be such a different story to live without it. But from day one, we have demanded that we need to set a clock. And the universe laughs, right? So here we are, trying to figure it out. However, you can't keep pushing. So that's the message here. You got to know when to ask for help from the guides. Okay, so we've got the Cloud card. This is all about what feels right and what feels wrong. How you're getting stymied, frustrated, worried, pushing. Or are you taking a break, having a cup of tea, finding the humor in all of your push, and understand that, okay, you know what? Letting it go, putting it in your hands. They're good hands. You know what I need. You know what I'm looking for. Whether that be the right thing or not, you're going to bring me what I need. And I am open and ready to receive that. Thank you. Much gratitude. And that's where you are. So there's two things going on here. We are looking at our path, the path that we choose to fulfill this receiving and giving golden wisdom. It's the path of how we choose to begin because we have motives and we have goals, and that's okay. However, the way you either push or allow movement to happen is the secret ingredient to what you've got to gather the information that you're seeking. Because the Two of Spades is moon energy. So we're looking at Virgo. We're looking at those more shadow attributes of wanting to push, to stick with it, to just perfectionism, and got to have every detail. You're getting lost in the detail. That's the kind of thing that we need to just stop, step away, take a deep breath, acknowledge your guides, ask for help, and then allow that help to happen. Wait for a synchronicity, wait for that feeling, and then go for it. All right. Interesting. Let's see what we get for the starseed. Free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. And no time restraints. All right. fellow Capricorn moons. Yikes. It's all good. It really is, because we are the alchemists of our own life. We just need to know how to mix and make stir those remedies and cures for each and every one of us. All right. Thank you and best of luck. Okay, Aquarius moon. Let's ask, what is Aquarius moon ready to receive and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of easy, joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. So, Aquarius moon, you are Saturn or Uranus led. So, for you, this is a matter of slowing down and taking one thoughtful step at a time. All right, let's keep that in mind. Archetype card, heroine. Light in here is terrible. The light attribute, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. The shadow attributes, escapism, and a false sense of heroism. All right, so we want to look at the journey for personal empowerment. How are you moving? In what direction, and how satisfying is it? Are you feeling like you're on the right path? Is it hard? Is it easy? Because a lot of being the hero, you can be the hero in your own story, right? The passion for the journey of personal empowerment. So being your own advocate, basically, and understanding and patting yourself on the back when you're doing a good job, being that cheerleader for yourself when you're not, and understanding that it is a journey and it is getting from one place to another. The escapism, or finding a false sense of it, I have a sense that you don't talk trash to yourself about yourself and give yourself, false pats on the back. Everybody is pretty honest with who they are to themselves during times like this. And that's just what's coming through for you. So if, for instance, you were doing it under false reasoning, you would know that as well. Very clearly, you would feel that because it doesn't feel very good. So knowing what feels good, what doesn't feel good, you can measure how much truth is in it. So we're looking for that personal empowerment, being your own advocate. You've got the 4 of clubs. So these are like super steady as she goes kind of cards here. The 4 of clubs is really like a block of cement, and it is knowing very clearly, because it is an intellectual card where you gather knowledge, you do what you need to do with that knowledge, you share it to make your life better, make other people's life better. It's just the card that does that. It's Mercury energy, so we are looking at the Virgo aspect of this, Mercury led, and knowing that, the devil's in the details. Virgo can be very focused on, so much so that you're lost in the details. You can be really a horrible self-critic because you're striving for that perfectionism. So the Four of Clubs is in that ballpark. So as you are getting to where you need to go to cement yourself in this foundation of where you want to be sprouting from, in order to bring that to other people, right? You've got to be strong in order to give. Because in that giving, there's so much understanding of who and what and how much and where does it need to go? How much help does it need to get there? How much support? How much feedback? All of that comes into the kind of giving that these cards are suggesting. So how do you do that? How do you find the passion to take that journey? Because it's personal empowerment. How do you keep it on an even keel? That's what you're looking at. That's what you are being asked to sculpt, if you will, the foundation to do that. What needs to be removed for that to have an easier way to go? All right, let's look at the Lenormand card. You've got the birds. What an interesting card to get here. So the birds are chatter. This is chatter in your own head. This is chatter that other people are saying about you. It's you talking about other people. It's having conversations. Again, a very, in the situation that the transits are in, a very philosophical conversation about how grounded and steadfast you're feeling, what you need to do to ensure your path. So I'm being asked to tell you that you need some support, that this empowerment is going to come through having a conversation with someone. It's in the bird card, maybe multiple conversations. We are talking about intellectually having knowledge, sharing going on, that whatever you garner from having these conversations is going to make a very big difference as to how you fortify your journey ahead to really, oh gosh, it's like you're becoming this superhero for yourself. How lovely. Okay, so get out there and have some philosophical conversations about how to really get your feet underneath you and make sure you're wearing the right shoes. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but make sure you've got the right shoes on for the job. I love it. It's so specific. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing it to you signs and synchronicities. Oh, so sweet. So you'll know, just open to it and be ready, because these conversations are going to be cropping up in the most unlikely places. You're going to be hearing things about how people ground themselves, how they opened to having a conversation with themselves about how to do that, what they need to clear out, what they need to make room for. And yeah, there you are. How nice. That is like a giant step forward in the right direction. Okay. Well, thank you and best of luck. Okay, Pisces Moon, this is your month. We're going to ask, what is Pisces Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Virgo and Pisces skills of easy, joyful, organized intuitiveness for their health and well-being, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura that brings that light into the world. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Pisces, you are Jupiter or Neptune led. So for you, this is a matter of staying focused and sticking to the task in front of you. All right, let's see what you get. The Knight. The light attributes loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of humor. The shadow attributes are alliances to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. So the Knight I see also as the one that's standing in line to take advantage or step into the shoes of a king or a queen's position. This is a card that really is about becoming a more noble character, because sometime in your future there is that possibility of stepping into bigger shoes or bigger shoes to fill. So for you, it's kind of talking about, not kind of, it is talking about how much self-loyalty do you put into it? How much do you give away in hopes of pacifying or of aligning your allegiance to someone that promises a lot but doesn't deliver? And you keep giving in hopes that it gets you somewhere, where it only gets you a feeling like you've missed the mark. So this is about having a romance with yourself, meaning that you are to love who you are and to become that person that can give the love to yourself, take care of yourself, stand up for yourself, because only then could you ever possibly be ready to do that for others, whether that just be being a team leader or an essential part of the family, being able to be mature enough and grounded enough and brave enough to put yourself first so that you can help others. There's this fine balance of a knight. They're also messengers. So you want to be sure that you are taking care of you and your journey of chivalry, really, because this is how you show up for yourself. Like knowing how to say no, knowing how much to sign up for, knowing who to align yourself with, those that raise you up, those that give as much as they take in the right measure to the right people in the right way, all the good stuff. Those are the people that are there. They're out there. And have you found them? And if so, fabulous. How can we improve upon that by minimalizing anything that is hindering you developing even bigger and better skill? Do you need more education? Are you overworked and overstressed? Are you carrying too much anxiety? These are the things that you really want to be on the lookout for so that you can start to release that energy to allow to come space for a different kind of taking care of yourself. Oh, very nice. All right, let's see what you get for the spirit and nature. Oh, the King of Hearts. This is perfect because the King of Hearts is what I call the grandpa card. He's the head of the family. He is so heart-led, but so has his mind in the right place. It's a red card. Reds have a more feminine energy. So we're talking about a soft touch, but knowing exactly where to put the energy in order to serve possibly one person, but in doing that, you spread the love to serve many. It's like either one at a time, or when needed, or as a group. Think of a teacher where you're teaching a class of students, however many. Those are your society, your kingdom, if you will. And every once in a while, you are going to have to address the needs of single students. It's very telling about how a teacher goes about doing that, how you promote learning, how you support it, how you give them a fishing pole. You don't give them the fish so that they can learn the love of learning. It's that kind of support that you are building because that is where you are headed to be in those bigger shoes, taking on that bigger persona, personality, job that you are preparing to be able to do with everything that you need in your toolbox. So this is about getting tools in your toolbox. So there might be some things that need clearing out in order to make space for that new to come in. So anything that is undermining your ability to, at times, put yourself first, just as much you want to put into being on the lookout for anything that doesn't ring true. As I said earlier, they want me to repeat it. The who, what, when, where, and how. Ask those questions. You're going to feel it. This is an emotional understanding because the kings, they serve through sacrifice. The sacrifice here is to understand that it's not a game particularly, but it is a dance of give and take. And in that give and take, the maturity of knowing what to look for, what to be in the presence of, spotting, is to be asking those questions and listening for the answers. Because when you're up in your own head and you're trying to think of the next thing to say or not listening, you are actually on the defense. You're trying to put energy out there to maneuver and manipulate, and that's not where you want to be. As you know, where you want to be is the one that listens and responds an action, not a reaction of what's happening. It's being in control, knowing where to take it, being able to speak it. So for you, being this a matter of staying focused and sticking to the task in front of you is really about learning how to buckle down, set your sights on something, having done your homework about the situation, if you're that lucky to know that there's, say, a meeting coming up, you're in line for team leader on something, or you're an artist and you're in line to approach a new gallery. You need several ducks in a row to do either one of those for anything, really. Just going up and speaking to someone about something that sharpens your skills at doing this support of yourself so that you can step into this knightly role and someday end up in the king position and doing it with really, really well for having done the homework. And part of that homework is staying focused and sticking to the task in front of you, one step at a time. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand. You got the birch rod, which is all about sweeping out what is not working for you. So that's another thing about the king. All the kings. This is change. It's not often happy change. It's often change that has to come about by really having a maturity about you to see that it's necessary for the greater good. That's what kings do. As I said, the who, what, when, where, of how of delivering what needs to have happen, whether that's an easy thing or a hard thing. It's how you deliver it. And for the kings, it is often destruction, but it's destruction of your own limiting beliefs about what you can do, how you self-sabotage, how you get in your own way, what you're telling yourself that's false. So all of those questions, the who, what, when, where, and how, you apply to you as well. This is being open-minded enough to know that sometimes you have to deliver tough love to yourself in an honest, open way. Supportive. You don't just throw the hammer down and kick somebody out. No, because you wouldn't do that to yourself. So this is you supporting whatever truth you need to bring. And when you do that, you are actually opening to a grander way of being. You're growing up, you're taking care of things. The king, it's beautiful. Now, the kings, all of them encompass the 7, 8s, and 9s in the same suit. So this is definitely about letting something go. For the red kings, it is Saturn energy, like all 7s. But this is the death card in the major arcana. So that's Scorpio, lead. So there might be something there for you. It's also the Rahu card. And definitely want to be paying attention to what is in your Rahu. So it would be the 8 of Hearts. So the 7 of Hearts with the Death card is letting go of some limiting belief in the emotional fulfillment thing. Where do you need to eliminate the way of thinking about how something you've felt maybe was emotionally supportive of you? It could be you, could be another person, it could be a place, a thing, whatever it is. It needs to be reconstructed or destruction. Let go. It's dead. It's dying. It doesn't hold the value anymore. It needs to change. It needs to transform. That's the 7 into connecting. Gateway card into connecting with your guides, your daimon, to be more spiritually led, hand in hand. Those are your guides. They're the ones that will tell you the truth. And then there's the 9 of Hearts. That's the K2, the Fool card, so that you can step into you being lighter, easier, gentler, all of the good stuff that a good parent would be, whether that's to your own child, being a parent to the rest of the family, or being a parent as a teacher or the head of a CEO, whatever it is. That is where the cards are saying you are able to go. How beautiful is that? Taking yourself to that kind of level of emotional well-being. Very nice. By basically taking a good, hard, solid look at what is working for you, what is supportive. Ask those questions. They just reminded me to say it again. And go from there. You'll know what to sweep to the curb and what to move forward with that's going to be super supportive of you, including what you do with you. Okay, that's it. Nice. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Oh, you got the blue star. This is beautiful. Follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul. That definitely says that you are on the right path. Just need a little clearing out, a little sweeping out, and you are there. Wow, very, very nice. Well, best of luck to you, and thank you, and I wish you well.